And joining me now is Jonathan Panikoff, former U.S. intelligence officer. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us on CTV News Channel.
Thanks for having me.
What does this recognition ultimately mean for the future of Palestinians?
Well, in the short and probably medium term, it doesn't actually mean much practically. 147 countries had recognized the state of Palestine before Canada, the UK, Australia, Portugal did over the weekend. And we haven't actually seen it move anything, unfortunately, in a meaningful way. But I think that there's a contention, and you've certainly heard this in Ottawa, that, look, in order to keep the hopes of a two-state solution alive, you're going to need countries to be willing to come out and say that it's time, even if it's an imperfect, that we need a state of Palestine. And I think that's what Prime Minister Carney is hoping to accomplish here. So symbolism here may trump meaning, but that doesn't mean it won't have a long-term impact.
How could the recognition ultimately impact the diplomatic balance with countries like Israel and the U.S., who, of course, are not recognizing statehood?
Well, again, I think in the short term, it's actually going to cause a little bit more of a schism. One of the big criticism about recognition is that what it's really doing is rewarding Hamas's terrorism of October 7th. In fact, you've had Israelis across the political spectrum, even on the left, share significant frustration over Canada and the other countries' decisions to do this right now. Hamas came out with multiple statements saying this is demonstration that its efforts worked and are pushing folks toward recognizing Palestine. But I think over the long term, the hope is, look, if you don't do this, then you're in a situation where is the momentum just completely stalled and the chance for a two-state solution is quite literally goes to zero. I think this is about keeping something alive that's getting harder and harder to imagine coming to fruition any time. But the alternative is, frankly, do you just let it wither on the vine and die? And nobody seems to really want that either.
Jonathan Panikoff is a former U.S. intelligence officer. Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us on CTV News Channel in Canada.
Thanks for having me.